You don't know it yet, but you're the ninja generation. No income, no job, no assets. You got a lot to look forward to.
Blood, buddy, is gonna be your blood.
Someone reminded me the other evening that I once said, greed is good. Now it seems it's legal. But folks, it's greed that makes my bartender buy 3 houses he can't afford with no money down. And it's greed that makes your parents refinance their $200,000 house for $250,000. And then they take that extra $50,000 and they go down to the mall. And they buy a plasma TV, cell phones, computers, an SUV, and hey, why not a second home while we're at it? Because gee whiz, I mean, we all know the prices of houses in America always go up, right? And it's greed that makes the government in this country cut the interest rates to 1% after 9/11, so we could all go shopping again. They got all these fancy names for trillions of dollars of credits. CMOs, CDOs, SIVs, ABSs. I honestly think there's maybe only 75 people in the world who know what they are. But I'll tell you what they are. They're WMDs. Weapons of mass destruction. When I was away, that's what they are. It seemed like greed got greedier with a little bit of envy mixed in. Hedge funders were walking home with 50, 100 million bucks a year. So Mr. Banker, he looks around and he says, my life looks pretty boring. So he starts leveraging his interests up to 40, 50 to 1. With your money, not his, yours. Because he could. You're supposed to be borrowing, not them. And the beauty of the deal, no one is responsible. Because everybody's drinking the same Kool-Aid. Last year, ladies and gentlemen, 40% of all American corporate profits came from financial services. Not production, not anything remotely to do with the needs of the American public. The truth is, we're all part of it now. Banks, consumers, we're moving money around in circles. We take a buck, we shoot it full of steroids, and we call it leverage. I call it steroid banking. Now, I've been considered a pretty smart guy when it comes to finance.
That's fantastic, man.
And maybe I was in prison too long, but sometimes it's the only place to stay sane and look out through those bars and say, hey, is everybody out there nuts? It's clear as a bell to those that pay attention. The mother of all evil is speculation. Leveraged debt. Bottom line, it's borrowing to the hilt. And I hate to tell you this, but it's a bankrupt business model. It won't work. It's systemic, malignant, and it's global, like cancer. It's a disease, and we gotta fight back. How are we gonna do that? How are we gonna leverage that disease back in our favor? Well, I'll tell you. 3 words. Buy my book.
Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, We must talk about it. Investors paradise. It's always been here. And investing special, you don't want to miss tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This stems over from last night's conversation talking about HELOCs, how to leverage it, HELOCs, home equity lines of credit, and ways to invest with no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. That means real estate, but that also could be businesses. That could be startup businesses. We have a whole lot to talk about. Assets that pay you is on tap and a lot more. And welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream. Stop struggling now. Gear, check, and please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here on this Friday night. You could be anywhere else, and I appreciate you being here. But please share the videos because other people don't know that there is a way out. The 110-pound gorilla, and some people would say 110-pound. Oh, I can get that off my back. But what about the 1-ton size gorilla on your back? Living paycheck to paycheck, under stress and duress? That's going to make it a situation that you do not want. So make sure other people find out that there are ways out. That's what we do here. We come up with solutions. We talk about real world. And because it's the no-go guru zone, that means we don't have courses here. So the chat room is open. Let's see who's in the house tonight. We have Jawway J here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream, and he has that icon next to his name, which I greatly appreciate. Thank you so much. And he says his tagline, hello SSN Nation, happy Friday everyone, received notification. And I hope he saw the trailer. Let me know if you've seen the notification and you've seen the trailer. Let me know. All right, now first things first, whenever we have our own that has businesses, which in this case, Beachfront Java, go over there. Coffee and tea, premium blend beans, whole ground, drip ground, fine ground, Keurig, no excuses, free shipping in the United States. And if you use promo code SSN Lifestyle, guess what happens? After your first order, you get discounts on all the next orders that you do. So go over there. It's still kind of chilly in large areas of this country and around the world. So get your premium blends. Go over there, show some love. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right, Jawway J does say, saw trailer, smashed that like button. And that's another thing. We have people watching this from all over the place. And wherever you're watching from, whether it's on the podcast, whether it's on X, whether it's on Facebook, make sure you smash that like button. So all of the platforms know that you are engaged. All right. So what do they say? Let's go. Now, let's get on with it, shall we? Because we had Carrie Ann on Wednesday. Last night. It was Thursday night, special live stream for InstaVid AI. And in case you don't know about InstaVid AI, that is a startup company that you could actually get involved with. And basically, the involvement is for an artificial intelligence, social media software that can help ordinary citizens. If you missed that video, I suggest you check it out because that was the latest iteration. This is going from a startup phase, so we get updates throughout this process. It is up and running as we speak. And if you watch last night's, if you've heard of the rapper Waka Flocka, him and his organization has decided to do a white label version of InstaVid AI. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, artists, entertainers, because there's a way that you can get your product, service, or yourself out to more people and you can interact with your fans. Simple and easy, and it automatically creates the video for you. So imagine creating a video in less than 10 minutes, 5 minutes, without having to do any editing, dropping it into editors, uploading, downloading, and all that. InstaVid AI has come out. So that's what we talked about last night. That's an opportunity for you. If you want to find out about InstaVid AI and you want to get in on some startup type of investing, then I suggest you go to info@instavidai.com. Send an email to Oscar, info@instavidai, and you can actually get a preview with him, talk with him, and you can get the SSN Nation deal. That means equity deal, ladies and gentlemen. That is important. You want ownership, assets that pay you. That's what you want. So get on that train if you want to. But again, high risk, high rewards. Small risk, small rewards. Whatever you think is a good risk for you, then that's what it is. And right now, at the family and friends round, you can get in for cheap. All right, just saying, this is the best time. All right, let's go. Victor Marrero's in the house, the soon-to-be retiree. T-minus what? 5 months, I believe. He'll be traveling all over the world. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because he has been buying assets over the last 20, 30 years. And some people might be misunderstanding an asset. You as an individual is an asset because you make earned income. Earned income, then you could use that earned income to buy assets. That's the idea. And then the assets that you buy pay you back. You're not putting it in a black hole where it sits there and you say, ho hum, you know, I'll get my little 2% or 3% from the bank. No, that's not good enough. We're talking about assets where you may have checks coming in while you're saying ho hum. All right, there we go. But Victor Marrero, welcome once again with that icon next to your name to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream. And he says his tagline, yes, got the notification and saw the trailer. And that also means that is the number 2 person tonight. And he says, hello, all. Let's do this. That's right. Victor Marrero. He was the one that was also in on it when he was trying to help Karen Ann. So hopefully she shows up tonight. She wanted to talk about Larimar. Well, it's all on tap tonight. We don't hold back here. We give you the real. And Victor Marrero, we can start this off right now because here's a situation that a lot of people are going to be faced with right now. You who have homes, who bought homes prior to 2020, maybe even in 2020, and your home has went up like 40 to 50%. So you could have bought a home for $300,000. It could be worth 450, 425, up to 500 right now. So the $1 million question is, what should I do with this equity? Should I let it just keep sitting here? Or should I take advantage that the price is still up there and get out a home equity line of credit? Or what should I do? Just stand pat? Well, here's the thing. So picture it this way. If you are an individual like most Americans in the United States, generally you have a job and then you bought a house. So now you're working to pay for your house, right? Hear me out. So if that's what you're doing, wouldn't it be somewhat a little better if you had a way where you can take some money out of your house, put it into an asset, and that asset generates enough money to pay for your house note? That is kind of like the idea that you would be taking money out of your house. So that means you are using an asset that is a liability currently, but because you did get some equity, you're tapping into it, but you're buying a business or you're buying something that gives you a return on your investment. And what I mean is, we're not going for pie in the sky. If you're going to do that, you have an IOU on your home equity line of credit. All right, there's interest attached to this. That also means you have another layer of a loan on top of your house. So therefore, it would be smart if you said, well, let me go down here and buy into a business. It's going to give me like $3,000 per month or 4 or 5 or whatever. And then that way you use that money to pay back and pay over what you owe for your house. And now you still have your job, fine. But now you go to work, that money can be used like the wealthy. 60%, 70% goes towards assets that pay you, not fun and games. All it takes is a few years, not that long. All right. But the key to this is if you get a HELOC, you want to pay that back ASAP. All right. So that's why you want to use that money not to go out and buy a new car, not to go out and buy some other liabilities, clothes, jewelry, none of that. Vacations around the world, forget about that. You are looking at this from a strategic standpoint, because after this next little thing that's about to occur with our economy, whether it's good or bad, the next run up will leave 80% of the population below what it's going to take to live in America. All right. So just keep that in mind. I said it here first. Eric says, all right. Now, let's see who else is in the house. Brian P. He's taking heed of this information. Welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he brings his tagline. Hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. Yes, I'm feeling a little bit better. The voice is getting a little stronger. You know, I'm about to go off. And he says, hello, SSN family. That's right. And he says he smashed that like button. That's right. Give it a 1 piece, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I want to point this out. I have started a WhatsApp group. I suggest there's the link. Please go over there and sign up. First order of business, because everybody's been waiting for these tickets. But I said, you know what I have to do, which I've been negligent about? Okay, hear me out. May 9th through the 12th, we're having a musical event with jazz artists, R&B, Dominican, Latin music, right? DJs, all this, right? And it's going to be the 9th through the 12th. We're going to have a VIP where there's going to be a dinner with Sean Rayford and friends doing a performance, but only VIPs. Now, VIP, you know it costs more. Come on now. Okay, that'll be the welcome dinner with a celebrity chef. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to heat this up. Now, the thing, though, is I am always partial to the SSN Nation fan. So, tickets have not been released. Tomorrow, in the WhatsApp group, there will be tickets, but for SSN Nation members, discounts. So you will be able to get tickets before sale that will be below what they're going to be when they're released. So you're going to have 24 hours, which means Sunday, they're officially going to be released. But tomorrow, you guys will be able to have tickets. So there's a range of tickets, because this isn't just a music festival May 9th through the 12th. Because if you want to come for music, we have that. SSN Lifestyle sponsoring it. So that means there'll be some real estate things going on as well. But real estate investing starts May 13th, 14th, and 15th. So there's an option that you have. You can come to the music festival. If you buy a ticket for that, then you can also join us for the May 13th, 14th, and 15th real estate investing, where we have the lawyers, developers. We're going to go around to some sites and places that may interest you for buying and get you the lay of the land. Got to go around, right? Then we're going to have you with the lawyers. We're going to have you with the developers, with the builders. We're going to have you talking to a few people so you get the lay of the land. And what's more valuable, you don't need me. I'm not an intermediary. You can deal with them direct. All right? That's how this works. Isn't that beautiful? I'm not the gatekeeper. All right? I don't play that. You don't have to go through me. You don't have to give us any additional monies. There's none of this upselling nonsense. We don't do that. So that way you can deal with people yourself. Whoever you want to deal with is your business. Now, so if you come to the music festival and buy a ticket for that, then the 13th, 14th, and 15th, the real estate portion is included. Then there will be tickets separately in case nobody wants to actually come for the music fest. They want to come for the real estate investment forum and all that. And then May 9th through the 12th, we have another official music festival with the top 10 R&B artists on the Billboard charts. They're coming to play with us, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So 2 weekends of jazz, R&B, soul, Latin. Oh yeah, it's going to be off the charts. It's little special stuff. All right. So once again, that's how we're going to do it. But get your WhatsApp link. All right. There it is. WhatsApp is very good. Basically, I've never used it on my desktop. I've only used it on my phone. So use your phone if you can, or copy the link so you can download it later. But make sure you get in. Yes, got the notification and trailer. That's 3 people tonight. So thank you for that. Did you receive my emails? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And in fact, I will be talking about 1 or 2 of these emails. Brian P., you're studying, man. I see he's studying, staying abreast, and he's putting himself in position because he understands what's going on. Can you guys believe Switzerland pulled what China pulled like 6-7 months ago by reducing their Federal Reserve, their central bank's interest rate? Okay, so what people do not understand is this. Okay, so you have to understand this gives a leverage. Remember, we talk assets, we talk derivatives, which turns into leveraging. So when I was talking about the HELOC, that is a leverage situation that you can do, right? It's no more, no less than like when you go down to Walmart and you're sitting there and you see discontinued items on a shelf. You go over there and some smart people will start scanning the items, see how much they're selling for on Amazon. And then like one time I was there was this playpen thing that was on Amazon. It was $160 and they're giving it away. They had like 5 of them for $45 or $35. I can't remember the number. And the person there was scanning it too. And they said, oh, I'm getting all these. And I was like, damn. And so they were easily going to be able to make like $400 or $500. It was crazy. And by the way, they had a credit card, so they had miles also on their credit card and rewards. It was crazy. So they get further discounts, like 3 or 4% discount, right? So it was incredible. So these are the type of things we talk about here that ordinary citizens can do. If you're thinking about it, you're at the store, you're walking around, but how many people think, hey, wait a minute, I can arbitrage this. I can go over here. Let me go see what's happening. Maybe I'll turn into a salesman. Everybody's a salesman when they're doing garage sales. Think about it. All right. I'm just saying, but we're going to get into some leverage because Karen Ann talked to us and me and Victor Marrero, we're going to talk about this tonight, whether Karen Ann's here or not, because other people I know, this has come up several times where people have told me, hey, Eric, I want to buy property in the DR. And here's the thing. First of all, before I go any further and introduce our man, Laverne Penix in the house. First of all, remember, when you take out a loan, you have an IOU. So why would you have an IOU if you have to pay 0% in the first place? What I'm trying to say is there's different levels of what you're trying to do. Some people have said, Eric, I'm going to take out my 401k. I'm going to do all this stuff. And I'm like, well, but you can make monthly payments with 0% down. You don't have any IOU. I know you may say I don't have the money, but the point is you're going to owe money on that loan. So the money that you have now, you incurred a 6.5, 6% annual IOU when you could have had a 0. It doesn't make much sense to me when we start talking about $100,000. Let's say that's $6,000. And let's say it's 2.5 years. Why you want to pay an extra $15,000, $20,000? That makes no sense when you had 0% interest to begin with. So that's one way we're going to talk about it, but we'll talk about it more in a second. Laverne Penix, welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream with that icon next to your name. I humbly appreciate it. And in this YouTube street, ladies and gentlemen, he's known as Mr. Cole. Another investor is here. Another person that understands leveraging, buying assets. And he brings his tagline, hello, SSN Nation. I hope all is well with everyone. I received a notification and the trailer. All right, that's 5 people this evening. Everybody smash that like button. We have a lot of viewers out here tonight, and I want to tell everybody thank you so much. And wherever you're watching from, make sure you smash the follow, the like. Let people know you're watching. Because this information, they don't even teach this in school, which is kind of crazy. But I will say this. They do teach it in certain sectors when you go to college, right? So you're just doing your own thing, saying, yeah, I'm going to do accounting. Great. You'll have the accountant's playbook down. You say, I want to be in business. Great. But only certain times do they go to the class that says we're doing startups. And they rarely talk about derivatives unless I'm going to a big high profile school, usually, which means, you know, the Stanfords, the Cals, the MITs, the Harvards and all that, where these guys go, we're doing a startup, right? So if you don't get to go there, where else are you going to get this information from? Forget those courses, all right? Now, let's get into this, all right? Most people buying property in the DR are taking home equity loans for USA property and bringing cash to the DR. These are typically fixed rates, unlike HELOCs, which can have variable rates. Yeah, right. Exactly. See, this is why I do not recommend doing this myself. It's to each his own, but there are some people that are making a different type of investment, like what Victor Morel's saying. He's saying they got their home equity loans. They took the cash out. Then they came and bought the property for full cash. And now that property is giving them a return on their revenue so they can pay off this new loan and then some. That I like. I like that a lot. That makes much more sense to me because now you've turned it into a business. That's like investing in a business. So I know I'm getting a return back to pay for this loan, but it's still risky, right? So just keep that in mind. And he mentioned something here about HELOCs because they could move. You could be 6, 6.5, 7. They move. So again, this is nothing to play with, in my opinion, unless you are making sure you have a return coming back. Just keep that in mind. All right. So we'll see if Karen Ann comes in tonight. Brian P., I got the notification and video as well. Thank you so much for that. And I was going with the Brian P. There's something. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't think I can. I will do this because it's something I wanted to talk about too. And hold on. Oh, I there's a couple things. There's a couple things. Okay. Okay. There's a couple things. I wish I would have had these up. I'm going to bring this up right now. Okay. Around here, in case you're new, I've been talking about getting yourself offshore, getting businesses started up off of United States shores. I've been talking about property. And now we have A3 Saval in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream. I appreciate it. And he says, hello, Eric and fellow investors. Eric, I will already be on the island in May. Right on, man. This is good to hear. Cool. Maybe you'll come and hang. Do something with us at the festival or real estate, whatever you want to do. But either way, hopefully you'll see us. That'll be great to see. Great to see you if you're there. Now, what I wanted to talk about was people keep thinking that nothing's going to happen in America, that their passports won't get shut down, that banks will always be open and you'll be able to just come and go across borders and not have a problem. Well, You better look at this, because right here, apparently in Kansas, this is wild, in my opinion. All right. Federal court says privacy rights are diminished due to the proliferation of video cameras throughout society. Filming your front porch without a warrant is now fair game for the feds. They don't need a warrant anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Law enforcement in Kansas recorded the front of a man's home for 68 days straight, 15 hours a day. And they did not have a search warrant. Now, again, this is in federal court, but this also means U.S. versus Hay. If you start going down this path, enforcing any video surveillance is starting to get diminished, which also could mean your privacy as well. Well, not also. It does mean your privacy is going to be diminished, and it's almost over. Now, I don't know if this would apply to individuals recording somebody's house, but that's what it seems like to me, whether it's police or individuals. Ring doorbells, they're all over the place. That looks like recordings to me, ladies and gentlemen. This is a problem. Big problem. Excuse me for a second. Guess I'm not over my little voice problem yet. All right. Victor Marcel's HELOCs are typically for home improvement, and yes, they can be used to buy other property. However, this is like having a credit card and can give you a false sense of limitless funds. Exactly. And that's what a lot of people do. They use it like it is a credit card. Especially if home values increase and all that, it's ridiculous. But once again, this goes into the situation where the government is allowing, for the lack of a better word, I just call police, I have a different point of view about police. I think they basically show up after everything has happened, or they show up when nothing has happened and then escalate the situation. Once again, I'm Black in America, so you could be minding your own business. Police pull up and you're like, "What's up?" And their response is whatever they want. You know, you've been smoking weed. You fit the description of somebody or something that's happening around here. You're like, what the? That's all they say. I mean, there's nothing. So this right here starts being, well, we'll just watch somebody's house for 68 days. And then we'll say, oh, we found something that's like illegal or looks like it's illegal. And then we're going to take them to a court of law or something. I mean, this is where we're going with this. This is crazy right here. No warrants, no nothing, just like no knocks. You guys know what no knocks are? That's when there's no warrant. They go in and they tell, hey, these people are bad people. And they just break in and shooting could occur. Why? Because Americans are armed. Somebody breaks in your house and you start shooting at them. Then you find out they're the police, but they come with 10 people that could have semi-automatic whatever. And all you have is maybe semi-automatic as well, but maybe maximum 8, 15 rounds. That's it. And they just start shooting, and you start shooting because you're thinking somebody busted in your house, and the next thing you know, you and your family get killed, and they're sitting there like, oops, wrong house. This is craziness out here. See, this is like third world tactics. I keep telling you guys, keep playing around with this American system, and you keep thinking they're trying to keep bad people away, but basically you don't understand who the bad people are. The people who have the power seem to be the ones wielding unlawful activities like it's no tomorrow. All right. And this hurts everybody, because I say you could be an innocent person and they're watching you, just like no knocks, and people are just rolling in people's paths, the police, and killing people, and then they leave and they have an immunity. This right here is going to be the same thing. If the police don't have to account for search warrants or anything, they can just be like, well, we'll just do surveillance unbeknownst to anybody. Now I'm going to have rogue cops surveilling my house because they want to try and get you caught up into something. Okay, I'll get into this another day, but I got to get into it a little bit right now. Look, when you're on America's Most Wanted list and you're doing good, these cops out here, they try to set you up. I mean, you guys don't have no idea. All right? These guys will try to bring the nice little soft, sweet women who are undercover, but they look good. They'll be like, hey, what's happening? How you doing? And because you're thinking, hey, what's happening? And then, of course, you do the old, hey, why don't we go to dinner? You're already hooked up, not by getting arrested. Now you're like talking to a freaking Fed or undercover, not knowing it. And the whole time you're doing nothing wrong, but they are trying to hook you up with something. They do dirty games out here. And that's all I'm going to tell you guys. I have a different perspective than most people. And these guys are crazy. And they have no leash. And you start allowing them to do crazy stuff like this, they're just going to be doing surveillance anyhow, off book, and claim they're police. So it's going to be good. And then they're going to rough you up and do all kind of crazy. Trust me, this is why you need more money. This is why you need to protect yourself. This is why you need your passports, multiple passports if you can get it. Trust me. You guys, man, this is bothersome when I saw this, because this is now another deterioration of your privacy by the government, which this includes, since it's federal. Don't believe, this is going to be state as well. I mean, come on now. Because all you're going to do is at the state level, you're going to say, oh, that's my rights. And then they're going to go, yeah, federal rights, you mean? Yeah, guess what? It's allowed. So you're not going to be able to get off on that. So again, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Eric, do you see what's going on here in the state with these squatters? Yeah, it's disgusting. A landlord got arrested here in Queens for changing locks on a squatter, which he owns. See, this is another reason right here, ladies and gentlemen. I talk about the third world country. Yes. This is why I keep saying you better get assets that pay you, because this situation that we're talking about with the squatter and the lady getting arrested in Queens is bananas. Bananas. In New York, somehow they have a law that says if somebody's in your house, broke in, it's your summer home, let's say. They broke in. They've been hanging out past 30 days. You show up and be like, hey, man, what are you doing at my pad? You need to get out. In fact, I'm going to change the locks on the door so your ass ain't coming back in here. And now the police is waiting on your ass to arrest you? What kind of BS is this? But again, ladies and gentlemen, you live in a third world country, but you don't know it yet. I've been saying this ever since I've been on this YouTube channel. But again, people don't realize, you guys, this is not a good thing. This is by rights. This is disgusting. And quite frankly, in a lot of states, this can happen. So again, you think you own something? I know it's quite wild, isn't it? You think you own something. What do you really own? You only own something as long as the law allows it. Think about it. Because right now, that squatter is still sitting in the house. Is that crazy or what? I'm telling you guys, it is crazy out here. It is crazy out here. Yes, would be nice to meet you guys. Where will the real estate meetup be? That is actually determined a few days before. I mean, I don't release that information out. I mean, I know where it's going to be, but the schedule and everything, that's only released when we get there, because there's a fee when we do our when we do this. So that's why I don't give it out. But you'll know. It goes to people that's coming, is what I'm saying. It's crazy to be out there. Let's go. But yeah, it disgusts me. And again, you guys have to start watching the boxes. This is tick, tick, tick. Okay, again, what do you own? If you don't pay your mortgage, your house is gone. So really, it's a loan. You don't own it, but everybody says I own it because you're paying for it. If you own your house outright and don't pay your real estate taxes, after X amount of years, they'll put your taxes up for lien or sale, and then people could actually either have a portion or own your house for a tax lien. So, I mean, you'll have 4 or 5 years, but still nonetheless. So it can be taken that way. There's several ways. If you're in an HOA and your HOA is one of them effed up ones, and you came into a financial problem and you couldn't pay your HOAs, your mortgage, but let's say it's free and clear and you can't pay your HOAs for 5, 6, 7 months, they could actually try to sell your house. It's crazy stuff out here. You don't realize how bad it could be. The reason why you don't is because America has generally been a stable country because they've had the world currency. But now, because of their inability to not keep using a credit card that they don't have and putting taxpayers at risk and putting the population at risk by spending as much as they want, somebody has to pay for it. And it's not somebody, it's the citizens of the United States. Pays for all of everything. The government makes no money. If the government was trying to make money, then why would they have the post office only open during working hours, like people go to work 8 to 5? So why would a post office be open 8 to 5 when 70% of your population is at work? Wouldn't it make sense that it would be open when 70% of your population is off of work? I mean, seriously, if you were trying to make money. But see, you don't have to when you're using other people's money, which is the taxpayers. Your social security number, you're monetized for life. Sheesh. Wow, I saw that article. Exactly. You are still a tenant in your own house. Exactly, Brian P. They got you out here fooled, ladies and gentlemen. I've told you this before. This is so, this just drives me crazy when in reality it happens and it starts happening. And then you have people fake, fraudulently doing deeds and all these things. And you find out real quick, you're thinking, oh yeah, somebody went down and changed the deed and fraudulently did it. And clearly it wasn't me. And you're thinking, oh, this will be corrected. No, it's not. You got to go to court. You got to get a lawyer. You got to spend money. I mean, this is what we're dealing with out here. Instead, they're making you, me, and everybody else worry about their other citizen stuff. Somebody wants to go do this with their body. Somebody wants to go to this school. Somebody wants to go call themselves whatever. You guys need to worry about all that. And we're sitting here having this going on. You're getting all your rights are being inundated one way or another. And now they're pitting citizens against citizens. One state, they're going, oh, yeah, you don't need it. You can just go down and get weapons. Another state, they're saying, oh, we got background checks. You can't get a weapon right now under any circumstance. You got a cool period. You can come back in a day or two. So now you got people acting crazy, going across borders. I have a beef with somebody. I'll go across borders, go get weapons, come back. There's no unity. So, you know, the old days when it was my house, my weapon, police would show up, you know, in a relatively quick fashion. Those days are over, with or without alarm systems. This is outrageous. You are not safe here in America or there, but you will need assets no matter where you live. All right. So here we go. A3 Saval finally coming to his senses. Eric, we truly never own anything here in America. Exactly. Maritime law. That's right. The county or municipality is the real owners. He's got it exactly right. He's got it exactly right. So what do we need to do here? Investors' paradise is what we need to worry about here, right? So tonight we were talking about A3 Saval. I saw that idiot. Exactly. Exactly. So what we need to talk about is you have to understand you need assets that pay you. And that leaves you out of the line of fire. And so this is why we talk about, speaking of that, when we spoke of offshore, you can have an offshore LLC and do business outside of the country, which gives you a leverage where you can say, hey, I have a business over here, so I can get an investment visa, right? Investment residency, right? If you buy property, all of a sudden you accumulate an X amount of property. Now you got a property residency, otherwise known as investment residency as well. So you have all these opportunities to expand the globe. The world is huge. Do you think the rich dudes all do a business only in America? Okay, you guys know I've given you stories before. I was doing business outside of America 30 years ago. Directly, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea, China. Yeah, oh, China. This is the thing. They have you fooled out here. So we need assets. Where do you get these assets from? Just act like the big boys. Sometimes you have to go outside of America. Maybe it's Mexico. Maybe it's South America. Wherever you feel comfortable to do business, you should be doing business. You need assets. And you need adaptability to the situations at hand. Because imagine if things actually gets bleak and all of a sudden you have all these empty homes, squatters move in, somehow, I don't know, these states can't get them out. These are going to be your neighbors and you're like stuck because you don't want to leave your house that you've been paying for. So now what? You're not going to be able to say, well, I'll just sell this. You could, but whenever you sell, then rest of the homes around are the same price generally. So now you're going to find yourself thinking, damn, I could be over in another country. Like Laverne Penix, for instance, Mr. and Mrs. Cool. He's saying, I love Spain. Victor Morel's like, I love Spain. I love Puerto Rico. I love DR. Hell, I'll go wherever I want because he'd made provisions already. I say I'm lucky. I was born in France, so I get the EU. I can go anywhere I want. I love France. I love Paris. So what can I say? So I'm lucky. I say I like DR too. So why don't I have something in DR? I used to say Mexico until they effed around and said, oh, no, you got to have these trusts. You can't own with that by the beach and all this other BS. We're going to keep your right to lease or right to lease. I was like, man, stop playing with me. But all I'm saying is you need to have opportunities, bank accounts offshore. So what if you send in money out of the country? There's no law against that. All right? Come on. And stop playing with yourself out here. A lot of people are all, look, if you send over $10,000 out the country, so what? It gives a report saying you spent the money. If you're not doing anything illegal, who cares? Right? The only people who care are people that's doing illegal activity. You're not going to care about sending 20 G's, 40 G's, 50 G's anywhere outside of the country or wiring it because you're like, it's legitimate money. You need assets. That outweighs anything because you can see it's going down. So how do we leverage something? Victor Marrero, let's have a conversation. There's a few other people that's going to join in. So we were talking about it on Thursday, yesterday. Karen Ann said she's going to use her. I think she's using, actually, I don't know what she's using because she said like a home equity loan. So I don't know which one it is, but whatever it is, she's going to do it a little bit differently. What she's going to do is she's going to pay her pre-construction. So that means for about 2.5 years, she's paying 0% interest. She may be paying, I'll use an example, I don't know the number, but let's just say $1,000 per month for 2.5 years. After that is over, because she already put down 10 or 15% down, after that is over, she may owe like, let's say $100,000. So what she plans on doing is taking out a home equity loan to pay the $100,000. Now, Victor Marrero brought it up already when he said, let me go back. This is what he said right here, which is very important. So it depends on what type of loan she got, because here's the situation. If you want to get a loan in the DR, you can get a loan for 7.5, 8.5% right now. All right. So if your home equity loan is 6.5 or 7, okay, but what's the points? Meaning, how much are you paying for this loan? See, sometimes they have these extra, it's 1 point or 2 points, or so you got to understand what you're getting into, and you need to know how long, what's the length. Because in the DR, you're not going to have a 30-year, $100,000 loan. 15-year, maybe, but it might even be shorter than that. It could be 10 years. So it's going to be pretty close. Now, if all of a sudden you said, I'm going to take out this home equity line of credit and it's 7.5 and a variable interest rate, and then you have a choice between getting a 7.5 fixed rate in the DR, take your pick. But I would pretty much go with the fixed rate. That's all I'm going to say. And sure, the Federal Reserve starts reducing their interest rate, yes, then ideally it might come down, but I don't want to take that risk. I'd rather pay that. And that's what we're talking about, leveraging your assets. And speaking of leveraging your assets, this is why, again, no matter what country you decide to go to, open up a bank account, make sure you send money to that bank account. And then the next thing that we do, we're going to go over and try to get a loan outside of the country using your own asset, meaning your own money at the bank, and saying, let me have $1,000 security line of credit. And then you just pay it off monthly from your own bank account. So then that way you have credit started as well, leveraging your assets. Those are your assets under management for all intents and purposes. All right. So keep this in mind. All right. Laverne Penix is crazy, shaking my head. Hey, have you heard from the wave? A3 Saval, we heard from the wave. I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Cool heard from the wave, and all they did was sent this shaky video showing these guys riding around, and the video scans like this. Man, they weren't even past 2 floors. So there's no way this thing about December 2024 that they were talking about, that will not happen. Not happen. No way. They don't even have the buildings finished. It's ridiculous. I think are they 4 floors high? I think they are. They're like they're not even 2 floors high through the whole thing yet. So again, this is bothersome what all these guys are out here doing. So we'll see what happens. All right. Brian P says, hey, Eric, I picked up 100 more shares of Clip. See, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another asset. This is a stock right here. This is what we've been talking about. This is a stock that gives off dividends. So now you've bought an asset. Now, I don't know how much. Okay, why don't I just go to the screen? Let's see here. Clip. Let's see. KLIP. Yeah. KLIP stock. $15. 100 shares would be what, 1,500? Uh-oh. This is not good. Looks like I got it. Uh-oh. Wait for the program. I got frozen. I start going off and I get frozen. Figures. All right. I start going off and I get frozen. That's funny. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. This is funny. Okay, 1508. So if he bought 100 shares, that's awfully nice. And so some people would say, okay, but what does that translate to? Yeah, why don't we do it this way? What do we actually, you're going to have to let us know what Clip gives in dividends because they don't show it posted. Last year, Clip gave a $9.43 per share. Now, we're not saying that's going to be this year, but that would be like, what is that, 80 cents? Is that right? Yeah, that's pretty close to 80 cents almost every month on average. It's a little less than that, but still, it's around 70, probably 77, 78 cents per share. So if he has 100 shares, that's $77 potentially every month out of a $1,500 investment. And at the end of a year, that's $943 if they gave the same out of a $1,500 investment. That sounds good to me. That's like 60%. That's crazy. If you can get it, that's what I would sign up for. That's pretty good right there. He's stacking, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason he can stack is because if you keep doing this and you keep saying, well, I'll add another 100 shares or $1,500, let's say in this case, $1,580, let's say. And next thing you know, you've spent, let's just say you spent $4,500 3 times, but now you have $200 and over $200 per month coming in while you're sleeping and you're holding an asset, which is a stock. Now, that stock's a little bit different, high risk, high rewards, but nonetheless, this is what you're thinking about. You're leveraging. So now you could also think, what happens if you had a large sum of these stocks? Let's say you had 1,000 stocks. And the next thing you know, it's $770, let's say, this month. Now, what are you going to start doing? 770. Are you going to invest in another asset? Leverage it into another asset. So now you're making money from this one, plus leveraging the money you made, which you didn't have to work for, into another asset that's going to pay you as well. And you're still holding. Remember, I'll take the 770 out, but remember, my principal's still in there, plus all the shares are still in there to earn another 770 next month. So maybe I'm just going to take the 770 and buy this other asset that gives me another return. Maybe not a high rate of return like that one, but now I'm starting 2 revenue streams. One maybe that's a little lower risk, but I still now are using other people's money. We're leveraging. And so that's another way you can leverage it. And there's all kind of different things that we can do because we are talking about an investor's paradise is now, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why it's now is because you can almost see it. There's a little tipping back and forth between like the economy shows signs of, record low over the last 60 years or something for unemployment. Great. What's that mean? It's not like record high for wages. That's never going to happen because the powers that be, the people that run corporations, they're not going to be paying you a livable wage like you're supposed to be. All right. So that's always going to lag behind. So unemployment could be damn near zero. It does not matter because they're not going to pay you what you rightfully should make in order to have a livable wage, which needs to be a 6-figure salary. If there's no way companies aren't going to do that. So this is what we're talking about here. All right, Brian P. He gives us some information. Hold on, let's see what we got here. I missed something. Laverne Penix, A3 Saval. I forwarded a short video, Eric, but in my opinion, it looks like the end of 2025. That's my opinion as well right now. And I can't even say that because here we are going to be in April. That only leaves 8 more months. If they don't have their 4 buildings up or the 4 floors up, the gray, then that means this is not even going to be 2025 because it generally takes a year to do the interiors. So I don't get it. We will see. All right. Good for you. Good for you. Clip pays the 4th week of every month, currently paying 61 cents per share. The share price is only 15. So if they're averaging 61, then it won't be $9.43. It's going to be a lot lower. That'll be 6 times 12, 72. So roughly 77. That's still pretty good. $7. So if they keep that clip up, we're still good. That's like almost 40 some percent. If they're able to keep that up. But it all depends on what the Federal Reserve does. If the Federal Reserve reduces the interest rates, then they're off to the races, which is going to be a good thing. So once again, yeah, but back to the wave. I agree with the assessment about the wave. I have a total of 915 shares now. Geez, monster. He's getting up there. He's going to have 1,000 shares. Now he's going to be getting, that would have been $616 if he had 1,000 shares every month if they keep paying that. Now he would have spent a lot of money, 17,000, but he's saying it's worth it. And he's doing what the big boys do: buy assets, then leverage it. And he's using a large percent of his money to buy assets and versus liabilities. So he could have said, well, forget the 15,000. I'll just go buy some jewelry. I'll go buy a freaking one of them Rolex watch for some strange reason. I mean, and put it on a case and have papers and a box. Meanwhile, he could be collecting $600 and some per month all year long, over $7,000. So I don't understand why, these type of thoughts where people say, I'm just going to bury money, because you don't know what's going to happen. And I use the watch, for instance, because there was a situation where watch prices went down, right? Because they made people believe, ordinary citizens, go buy these things. They go up in value. I'm holding it. I wear it a few times. I can resell it for the price to go up. Well, it all depends on who's going to pay for it. Meanwhile, he spent 15 G's, and he could say next month, for instance, maybe next month or a month or two. But if you get up to the 1,000 shares, you could say, I know this is giving me $600 per month. My watch, I bought it for 15. It's a Rolex. And I mean, is it going to be worth 15.6 the next month, and 16.2 the following, and 16.8 the following, and 17.5 the next month? Not year, not 2 years, not 3 years. Is it going to go up 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or $7,000 in less than a year? Doubtful. So all I'm saying is assets pay you. All right. Does no good to be sitting in a black hole because there's inflation. That's the thing that people keep forgetting about. So when we have gold and silver, which a lot of people claim are assets, they don't. In our book here, my book, SSN Nation book, it doesn't pay us for me to have gold and silver sitting on the sidelines. Because I'm going to tell you guys again, I actually made a video, I believe, I hope I did. I think I did, where if you actually go back to I think I went back to 1972, but if you go back to 1980 and you take the price of gold and silver And then you just do every year, do the inflation numbers. Unfortunately, you got to use the inflation numbers by the government, but use those numbers. Once you use those numbers every year for 40, 50 years, you'll be like, wait, this isn't actually meeting inflation. It's behind inflation. These things should be up way more than what they are, but they're not. Because again, we talked about this on Wednesday. 80% more is the cost from 2020. In 4 years, it cost Americans 80% more. Who got 80% raise over the last 4 years? Anybody? But I guarantee you this, if you have passive income or asset money coming in, then you don't really care, because what you did was you increased your price based on inflation. So you still get to stay above the fray. Because we are talking about short-term rentals as a thing. Brian P, 915 shares. Nice. Congratulations. If you invest that in just 2 years, you could be getting about $1,500 per month. That's what I call a crazy ROI. I know. That's pretty wild. That's awesome. If Clip goes to $1 per share, your portfolio will explode. Jesus. That's how we need to play the game. That's exactly right. It's sitting here for you, ladies and gentlemen. You buy assets. That's stocks. Okay, we're talking stocks. We're talking real estate. We're talking a business. We're talking going one step further. So you're sitting, like, I'll use a perfect example. When I go back to the DR, I got to sit down and talk about, apparently there's like a DR stock exchange of some sort, which is like minimal. I'm like, I'll play. How much does it cost to put my shares of stock for my company on the stock exchange over there? Because what I'm going to do, I would be like trying to leverage it into over the counter in the US or something. I mean, this is crazy, which I didn't even think of. But I was like, wait, hold on a second. This is insane. But here we go again. We're talking leveraging. You have a company. You have shares of stock, a C corporation. It could be private. It could be public. It doesn't really kind of matter. You have shares. You can sell your shares, whether you're private or public. They have a value based on how much your company makes. So, or you can find investors by saying, I have shares for sale. You can also get an accounting firm, someone to come in and verify you guys made X amount, your company's worth X amount, my shares worth X amount. I want a debt vehicle, leverage. I need some capital. So I want to sell X amount of these shares. Thin air. You're doing business anyhow, but you've monetized your business another way. But you're willing to take on partial ownership if that's what you want to do. That's an option. Or non-votable type of shares. You can do that too. Whatever you want that you feel comfortable with. But again, you have to have the asset. The business has to be making money. Now we get into derivative play. I like derivatives. They're like this, a piece of paper. They're very light, but they're heavy with the cash flow. So we sell shares, this light pieces of paper, and then the next thing you know, people are giving you money for these pieces of paper that is really thin air when you think about it. But you built the business. It's been making money. You have it certified. They said, yeah, man, I want to invest in this. I want to get some of this profit. That's one exit strategy. Or you could do something like what's that project? Sabana. Inside Vistacana in the Dominican Republic. They said if you put 20% down, they will carry for 10 years, was it? No, it wasn't 10. It was 8 years, I think. They do 9.7% for 8 years. No credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. You can buy the condo, but you have to put down 20%, and they will carry the note, 9.7%. All right. So again, what's good for them, as soon as you sign that piece of paper at 20% down, I believe the place was 227. Yeah, I think this particular, it was 227,000. So as soon as you sign that piece of paper for 227,000, you put down the 20%, your monthly payment was going to be like damn near 3,000 per month. But hey, it's pre-construction. So I would have put in a little, I would have had to do something like, hey man, since it's not built yet, I should have 0%, but I don't know how that would have washed over. But let's just say for the sake of argument, I signed that 9%, 227. Now, I don't know what that, let's see, we can, hold on a second. That was 96 payments. 96 payments times 3,000. 200, is that 288,000? Let's go. Hold on. I think I have this wrong. 3,000 times 90. Oh, I see. 96. 288,000. So that's what I don't know if that's right, but let's just say that's the number. So now the point I'm trying to make is, if I did that 10 times, even though I only collected roughly, let's call it 56,000, we'll count it round up, 60,000, 60,000, that's 20%. That's all I've collected. 60,000 times 10 is 600,000 for the down payment, right? But the value of my contract is roughly, if they paid off everything, I think it's around 290,000. It's probably more than that, but let's just say it's 290,000. Actually, I did a simple calculation, so I know it's more than that, because I actually did it like it was paid off in 1 year, when in fact it's every year. So it's going to be over 300 G's. So we'll round up to 300,000. So I have 10 times 300,000 worth of paper, $3 million on paper. So what do? I have 3 million on paper. I've collected 600,000 because we sold 10 units. Am I going to sit there and wait for people to pay me their 3,000 times 10, $30,000 per month? Or do I want to say, hey, 10 times 300,000 is 3 million. Will somebody give me $1 million and you could collect the money? We'll give you that profit, but I'll take the 1 million right now. I mean, some people would say, I'll hold off because I'll take the 30,000 per month. Okay, 360 times 3 is $1 million, but that's 3 years. Right now, who'll give me $1 million? You have $1 million this week. You can leverage that other $1 million you just got into something else and let somebody else deal with that and go on about your business, right? So this is why you need assets, but this is why you also understand what an asset is, because you can leverage it. You can turn it into derivatives. All right. So think about all these opportunities that you have, but most people don't think that they have these type of opportunities. All right. Now, here's Victor Marrero. You can also use your dividend portfolio for leverage. I knew it. I knew it. Somebody beat me to it. Victor Marrero. All you do is show the monthly distributions received and the projections. He's exactly right. Here's where we go. That's why do you think the wealthy always hold stocks, shares? Because of this right here. If you start thinking of a person, let's just say Brian P gave us his number. Let's say he says, I want 1,000 shares of this clip. And we know It's generally going to give him $616 per month. That equates to over $7,200 per year. And Victor Marrero knows they'll say, okay, in 5 years, that's X amount of $35,000. All of a sudden, you can start leveraging this stuff. That's what, Warren Buffett does. A lot of people use their stocks that they didn't have to make no money. They just sat there themselves collecting. They didn't have to work for it. It's not earned income. It's beautiful when you're using some vehicle, an asset, to leverage it and then use that to go and get something else. So yes, now we do have a privilege here of knowing that Brian P has over 5,000 shares of TSLY. And so he has a situation where he's collecting 3,000, 3,500 or more per month in dividends. So that brings it into potentially $40,000 annually. Now, all of a sudden, what does that mean? What's the value of that? On the streets, and that shouldn't say on the streets, but in financial terms, that's worth like almost $500,000. Somebody could loan him 200 G's, 150 G's easily, because they know it'll be locked up and they know it's going to be collecting like 50, almost 40,000 per year. So they don't have to worry about it. He can't touch it. That 40,000 per year is coming back. And they're just like, we're not going to worry about that. Plus we have it's locked. So they don't have to worry about any of it. As long as it's giving out dividends, he's loving life. But he got the money up front. It might cost him a little bit, but now that money up front is more valuable because you get to turn it into today's money. Your investment is today. So any upside, you win. Versus waiting until the upside happens, like when you're buying real estate. That's why you have to buy real estate at certain points. If you're trying to buy commercial real estate, for instance, and it was a hot situation, then you're going to have higher, like right now, you would have higher rents. So that means if you're going to buy a rental property, then because of the higher rents, the value's higher, right? So you don't want that scenario. You want to be able to buy when it's low and then fix it up to where the value is increased because you were able to monetize it some certain way by maybe rehabbing the units, adding a better kitchen. Who knows? I don't know. But all these things you can do. And now you create a higher value. You can increase your rent. And the next thing you know, you benefit from the higher rent. And how do you benefit? Just what we talked about with the stock, you can do with the real estate, commercial. All right. This is why the big boys always win. They're not selling their buildings. All they're doing is saying, hey, give me a loan. And then they turn around and get a loan from the building and they go buy another building. They just keep it going. They keep adding the assets. Yes, that's very risky because if there's a down cycle like what's happening now in commercial, you could have tenants who aren't going to pay. That's not good. Hey, Eric, they did a split TSLY. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, the reverse. I forgot about that. Only have 2680 shares now. Now from split. Yeah, now that's a bummer right there because hold on, you know what? That's a bummer. TSOY. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this because when I do TSOY, you guys know what happens. They start messing with this. That's not fun because he was up to over 5,000 shares. That's crazy. All right. I'll have to go to, well, I'm not going to say it. Every time, ladies and gentlemen, when we start talking about this particular stock, the channel all of a sudden starts acting wiggy. So we're not going to talk about it because conversation going on tonight. I'm going to see, let's see here, prospectus. Are they really taking me to the prospectus? Yeah, they really are. Okay. I didn't really want to go there, but that's okay. I just wanted to go look at the TSOY. I wanted to see what the I don't really pay attention because I own TSOY. I have it on reinvest. So I don't really care what it is. It's just reinvesting. So let's see, 81 cents. Okay, so that means he's way down now. This isn't even, wait a minute. This says 81 cents. 2680 times 0.8109. Let's see what this is. $2,173 after the reverse split, which is okay. Still $2,700 this month. The previous month, a little less, probably about 2,600. The previous month, that looks like interesting. Over, well, pretty close to 3,000. If it was, I can't remember when the reverse split was. But yeah, this is interesting. But nonetheless, that's still $2,700 that he received this month. That's awesome. Yep. 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 Exactly. Exactly. Yes, they did the split, but the raise per share payment, 81 cents. Yeah, it's still a nice chunk of change every month that you don't have to work for. So the longer they extend this out, the better. If it comes 20, if he gets $2,700 every month, you guys have to understand that's over $30,000 annually. Some people have to work all year slaving away to get that amount of money and still not survive because you pretty much can't survive on 30,000. Not the way the costs are right now. Well, it's not right now. It's going to be, wait till another 4 years goes by. If you think costs are crazy now, imagine if everything is damn near double. Because that's where we're headed. In fact, just forget about it. It doesn't matter. It's going this way. I keep saying this. I have to always say this in case we have new viewers. Make sure you smash that like button. Nobody can stop it. All right. The only way this can be reined in is one way, and the debt system does not work this way. Capitalism does not work what I'm about to describe. The only way it can work this way is if all of a sudden that deficit that the United States has, if they woke up one day and said, hey, you know what? We're not going to spend $800 billion on the military industrial complex. We're going to take $800 billion and you know that $35 trillion, that is, we're not going to make the American people pay this 840 billion. We're going to actually pay down the debt. If they start doing that, now all of a sudden you're going to have a contraction with the economy because now that money is not printing up more money, putting it into the hands of a lot of people that's working to create this military industrial complex, right? So now that circulation of money is going nowhere and it's cutting down our debt. But that is the only type of activity that could happen, unfortunately. So United States is not on that plan. So that means their other plan, which they're going to implement, is lower interest rates, so then you can borrow money based on a piece of paper, and that increases more money supply artificially, which also means since there's going to be more money in the money supply, then that means their prices are going to go up. And unfortunately, they don't care nothing about you. So you better have assets that you can leverage down the road like the big boys. You're going to have to grow up, ladies and gentlemen. You can't sit back, start talking about this stuff with yield max. Even if I try to show it on the screen and talk about it, they always have a problem. But it's all good. All right, let's see what else. We got something else here. The ones that are paying crazy dividends and have positive returns and that are also paying over $1.17 per share, NVIDIA, have that. CONY, have that. AMDY, FEPI, FBY, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Victor Morero brings in some dividend funds. There's how you buy assets. Again, the leverage part's very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, E. White, welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream with that icon next to your name, which I appreciate greatly. And he says, good evening, SSN fam. Hey, Eric, what do you think about Mr. Trump True Social being listed on the stock market? Yeeks. It's a win for him. It's a win for whoever has a lot of shares for a company that basically has low revenues, that trades at 40 times its value, which means it takes 40 years of income to make what the stock is worth. Yikes. It's almost like a meme situation. Good for them. That's all I can say. Good for them. Because it's a SPAC. A SPAC starts at $10. Again, here's what a SPAC looks like. Right? It's a SPAC. We want to invest in a company. SPAC of $10. Their shares are up to 40, I think, somewhere like that. So good for them. Trump is probably going to hold a lot of shares, over 50%. But the question is going to be interesting because I don't know how that deal was done. Because the people with the SPAC should be holding some shares too. But they're going to be locked. I think. Normally they're locked. So it's not like he's going to be, whoever is in the SPAC and whoever's in the True Social that's getting shares, they're going to be locked. They should be locked at least 6 months, if not a year. So, but that's one of the things that you're going to have to worry about. If it's locked, and once people realize what it is, it could be a meme stock, or is it going to be business? Business wise, it's not good. So, but that's how stocks work, right? Just like crypto. If somebody's willing to pay for it, that's what the price is. But yeah, it's 40 times, which is crazy. But good for all them. But you can't sell it. It's not liquid. We'll see what happens when it's liquid. But for everybody else, it's going to be liquid, right? So if you buy it at 40, let's say, now you're hoping somebody else is going to buy it at 40 when it comes out. But again, I just caution people that the price is not based on fundamentals. Okay, IWMY over $1. Okay, over $1 as well. Brian P. just dropped another one of those assets that you need on the stock market, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Karen Ann, I was hoping was going to be here tonight because she was going to talk about real estate. We were going to talk about Larimar. Well, we weren't really going to talk about Larimar. She mentioned it yesterday, so I was hoping she was going to be here. And I didn't know what she wanted to talk about, but I made it pretty well known. I was like, pretty much there's nothing to talk about. They're not showing me any pictures of the cliff being remodeled or anything other than I know there's dirt there and I know they're clearing the area, but you have no choice. You're making a city. You have to get the roads clear. You have to bring in some sort of paved roads, flat roads. You have tonnage going in and out. And when we were there, the roads had, dips. That's not good when you're bringing materials in on flatbeds or things like that. You don't need those dips. So the road has to be flattened out, and the road's not like 100 yards. I would say we had to go 3/4 of a mile in at least down this road through the farms or whatever it was. I mean, so to me, I'm thinking, yeah, the grading or whatever you got to do on that, I'm thinking it might take 2 months. And especially when we have to move trees out the way and make sure that you have footing for whatever you're going to put the foundations down. Yeah, that might take 3-4 months. So that means we're talking about a year and 12 months, a year and 5 months. I mean, year and 7 months. There's no delivery happening like that. I'm sorry. Not happening. All right. Brian P says, yes, $1.10. And so are MRNY, ULTY, AIYY. Everybody on podcast, Facebook, X, everybody watching, Twitch. You guys, they're throwing down tonight with the dividends. This is damn near free money. You got to do your own research on these. You can go see them. The stock symbols are on the screen, but I'll repeat them for everybody on podcast. M as in Mary, R as in Robert, N as in Nancy, Y, MRNY, $1.13. ULTY, $1.06. AIYY, $1.06. Plenty of choices right now. See, again, this is why opportunity is here. Investors' paradise is here because the Federal Reserve is allowing this to occur. And some people say, what do you mean by allowing it? Because they're not making any moves. They're just keeping the federal funds rate the same. If they woke up and did anything, going down, I think is detrimental. But if they actually went up, that may be detrimental as well. But I would love an up movement versus a down movement. A down movement means middle class wipeout. All right, just keep that in mind. In fact, you've been getting wiped out the whole time ever since I came here 4 or 5 years ago. I told people the middle class is being wiped out, and you can't really see it because it's not a huge jump. It's a jump over time. So when we were talking about it on Wednesday, 80%, it cost 80% more than in 2020. You don't realize it, but you do realize it. Because it's like you recognize things are like out of control, right? But there's reasons. And it's not going to stop. Everything's already in the machine. It's already gunked up. You cannot add $7 to $10 trillion in a 6-year period, and then a year goes by, 2 years go by, and you're thinking everything's going to be fine. You added all this money to the money supply. Who's going to pay this back? See, that's the key right there. Who's going to pay it back? That's you and me. That means everything has to be higher. And it's a domino effect. And what I mean by this, I'll give you a perfect example. Here's what I'm trying to say. So when somebody says we're going to have a tariff war, and some people are going, yeah, right on, right? What you're not thinking is a tariff war means you're going to charge another country a higher tax. So if I buy something for $100, I pay for something that's $100 in America, and I charge the country that's importing into America that product, guess what? That company says, okay, you can charge us an extra 10% import tax, but guess what? We just added a 10% increase, plus we want to make a little profit, so we made a 15% increase on the price. So now when it hits America, it cost us $115 now. What did we accomplish? Nothing. The 8% tax was passed on to the American citizens. But guess what else just happened? If you also sent over products that cost to build, manufacturing, anything like that, tools, all those are now in the cost of manufacturing and improving. So now you go, this product, this piece, I'll use aluminum. This piece of aluminum now costs 15% more. Great. But also this piece of steel over here costs 15% more. Great. You guys start compounding. Now we're building our stuff. Now it didn't just cost us 15% more. It cost us like 50% more. Guess who's going to pay for it? The American citizen. So now you're going to be paying 50% more because each one of the pieces that go into this manufacturing costs 15% more. It ain't 15% level. So you guys don't understand. So when that happens, you should have went, oh my God, everything's going to go up. That's what happens. It's simple. It's mathematics. You can't get away from it. So this is why in the 1920s, when we had a president who said, I want isolation. I don't want to do business with the rest of the world. Well, guess what's going to happen if you do that? Now, when you try to export outside of the country, you're not selling to people outside the country. You're only selling to people inside the country. If the people inside the country only have X amount of dollars, you're not bringing in any new money. So now if people inside the country don't have enough money to buy it, like right now, America, we live paycheck to paycheck. Imagine if you could only buy something in the US. Obviously, now US companies would start having a problem. They would go, oh, damn, we don't have enough customers. Open up the borders, allow us to sell outside the US. Well, in the 20s, they said, no, man, we're isolationists. We're all good. We're big and bad. Well, that doesn't work either. So you have an implosion. Same kind of scenario. So you have to be mindful. All these little economic things affect you, and you may be thinking it's no big deal. But it is a big deal. It is. Because when we have a tariff war with somebody, and a country normally buys from the United States farmers, for instance, and all of a sudden they said, well, we don't have to buy from you no more because you guys are charging us an extra 25%. We'll just go down to South America and pay 30% cheaper. Forget you guys. Now what happens? Your food supply now all of a sudden costs more money. Because without those sales, they have to charge a higher price for the other items. So then you go, why is the food price higher? That's why, ladies and gentlemen, because now you just lost billions of dollars of source for this other item. It compounds the problem. So therefore, you need to make sure you have assets because there's other people working against you that you may be thinking it's good, but it's not good. So that's how you know it's going to be a third world country sooner or later, because where do you get our produce from? Where do we have our food being made? Mexico, even hell, China is being sent over here. This is crazy. What happened to Florida, California, being the bastions of, our fruit. What happened to the Midwest having all these fields of corn, wheat, right? All that comes into play. So what you're not realizing is with the decrease of production in America, prices have to go up. You're not going to be able to stop it. Nobody can will it. It's going to keep going up. If you know all these factors are going to occur, then that means you only have one option. You have to plan for the future. And the future means it's going to cost you more money. So you're going to need assets. It's that simple. Can't hide. Yes. We are making money in here. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Eric, I'm getting my raises from stocks and my job. Beautiful. That's a win-win right there. Smash that like button. We have people watching wherever you are. Please smash the like button. Please make comments wherever you are. And don't forget to share. Tell people, hey, you might want to listen to this. Because if you don't understand how prices are going to increase, they're going to keep going no matter who says anything. And the worst thing that you're going to hear is coming up later this year. When the Federal Reserve goes, we are doing an interest rate decrease, it's a wrap. Brian P. recommends setting some money aside for the IRS next year with all these dividends. Exactly. My CPA completed my 2023 taxes. Then I got smoked. Victor, how did you get smoked? You can't get smoked. Well, okay, look, the only way you're going to get, I know why you got smoked. But, okay, first of all, if you're doing these dividends, you don't really want to take the money out. That's one of the things. If you take money out the first year, that's 25%. That's one thing. If you wait till another year goes by, then it's 15%, which is still hefty if you start talking about 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. Geez, I mean, but hell, 15,000 versus 25,000, it starts being a nice difference. Now, Victor Morrell, talk with your CPA, but think about what about your solo 401k? Because you know you can trade in your 401k or your company 401k. You can trade inside of that. That's an option that could help reduce somewhat. Well, it will actually because it's business. But then it's not, it's a little different. So I don't know how much that would save you. But I kind of know if you have your LLC for your business, the rentals, then you're going to get smoked. You're going to get smoked. First reason why I say this is LLCs with short-term rentals is a pass-through. And your pass-through means you got to pay 15.3%. So if you make $200,000, you got a $30,000 tax bill. I'll just say you make $200,000 after expenses, but you're going to have a $30,000 tax bill. For starters, and then you still have liability for the federal on after we take everything else off. So yeah, I could see that happening. And then you have a W-2, and then you have other. Yeah, it could get kind of pricey. I know, Victor Morrell, because you've shared some stuff with this. So yeah, I could see that because you can't save yourself. Although there is something he could do. So remember, you have your LLC, I'm assuming, for some of the properties or whatever. You do know you can actually have your LLC as a business, and you could be like an employee instead. Just saying. Yeah, that changes things too. You still have to pay the FICA. Yeah, there's really no way around it, quite frankly. It still works out almost the same damn thing. But at least you can offset with matching, and you can offset. There's a way you can offset with the matching for your 401k. which gives you a tax write-off on the other side. So there's a way that you can actually get it reduced, but you got to do some other stuff. So that's crazy. I haven't taken any money out. The problem is that Robinhood and Fidelity report these dividends as short-term dividend. What? I do plan to use my 401k for options starting in July. Exactly. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a trip. Damn, I didn't even look at mine. That's not good. Also getting income from option trade. Yeah, that's the one right there, which are also categorized as short-term gains. Well, option trading, yeah, you're going to get that. Hey, you know what, Victor? I've been talking to a lot of traders, not now, but before. And I kept asking them about this. And they kept going, oh, I'm just a trader or whatever. We have some sort of exemption thing. And I was like, I never heard of it. What are you talking about? And I always wondered about that because I was like, man, aren't you trading? Doesn't that mean you owe like 25%? I'm like, so that means in order to make 10%, you have to do a 35% trade minimum. And plus you have fees on top. So I never understood how that calculation works, because I know if you're winning, then you're going to owe 25% on the short-term side. So I always wondered about that. And I think you're answering the question, because this is what I always worried about. They said there's some sort of, at least that's what they would say. I don't know if it was true, because I was like, I don't do that options trading. Paul Castillo, welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream. And of course, he has the icon, which I love. Thank you so much for that. And he says, good evening, SSN family. A lot of knowledge has been spread tonight as usual. Thank you so much, Paul Castillo. Another investor is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. This is where the investors reside. And again, no guru zone, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. We don't sell courses here, because the course is what you're watching right now. We have things on the screen for you so you can write it down. We give you information you can write down and take with you. You can ask questions in the chat room. And look who else has showed up. Ariam Kaye, another investor, is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night live stream. He brings his tagline, good evening, SSN Nation. Big Dog is in the house. Best host on YouTube. Thank you so much, my boy Eric. I appreciate that. Let's talk investment. Let's talk real estate. Ariam Kaye is another superstar investor. Not one, not two, not three, not four. He's rocking the house, getting these assets, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to say, he didn't just stick with one location. I want to know about a location that's very, very interesting that came on the radar a little bit late. But Ariam Kaye said, Eric, Boca Chica, 30, 40 minutes outside of Santo Domingo, which is a hotspot location for the locals, because there's really, like, from what I understand, I've never hung out in Santo Domingo, but the beach areas are kind of weird. So you go outside the city, this Boca Chica area, and he has a condo out there. I want to know if it's finished. I want to know if that thing is finished yet, because I want to know the results of that. And Ariam Kaye, very, very happy to see you. He's another investor on the Dominican Republic, the island, ladies and gentlemen, the hottest island, breaking records. They told me at Caribbean Journal last week, you guys, 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was 661,000 tourist visitors. Come to find out, I don't know what's going on, but the numbers were higher. There's 700 and something for the month of February. That is incredible. So I got to make a Dominican Republic weekly to get that out there. But 755, I believe, was the number for February 2024. I could not believe it. In fact, let me see if I can pull this up. Do I even have it still? No, I guess not. But I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a minute. When did this happen? Yeah. It came out on the 17th. So they must have done a preliminary number, because I was like, wait, when did this happen? Yeah, let's go show this. This is crazy. I couldn't believe it. It was supposed to be 661, and apparently it's more than 661. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You get a preview tonight. This is why, again, I am very happy for people, regardless of these guys being late with these projects. This is outrageously awesome. I will have to say, this is awesome. Look at here. February of this year. This is March 17th. This is incredible. The country received 755,000 tourists by air alone in February. Can you believe this? And 300,000 cruise passengers, marking this the first time they've ever had over 1 million passengers, ladies and gentlemen. We broke our own records again. 1,057,000 visitors in the month of February alone. Again, ladies and gentlemen, look, this is not like rocket science. You guys have been here for the journey. You've seen how it is. And the thing is, it's not hard to figure out. This is what you have to think. You have to be adaptable to the situation at hand whenever you want to buy assets. So if somebody tells you, hey, they are actually building a country based on tourism, the wellness industry, the travel industry, the cruise industry, and the medical tourist industry as well, this is ticking all kind of boxes. Then you have them building 200, 300, 500 million dollar hotels and resorts. This tells you you should be paying attention, because a lot of money is coming into an area, and the sooner you get your place, the sooner it's built, you get to benefit from having these additional visitors. So we were staying at Coral Village, November, December. The one-bedroom units were roughly about $40, $45 per night, maybe $50. Right now, those same one bedrooms, people are getting minimum $75 per night. Some are getting $100 per night. These units were only like $60,000. Okay. So during prime time, they're getting potentially $550, $600 per night for a week. They're doing like a high rate of occupancy because it's walking to the beach. This is in Los Corrales, El Cordecito. So these guys throughout the year are getting rental money coming in every week. It's unbelievable what's happening. And now they're breaking even more records. They're talking about 11 million when you include air and cruise this year. They're going to reach it. This is what people thought I was crazy when I said 8.5 to 9 million by air. It's going to happen. Why? We're checking out the landscape. They're adding more air traffic locations around the country. They're doing intermediaries. So you can land at Santo Domingo, you can land at Punta Cana, and then they have flights to the interior. They started doing that. They went down to South America, got more flights in. They went over to Europe, got more flights in. Between the Caribbean islands, more flights are coming in. From America, more flights are coming in. All that combined is what's fueling all of this. And they are all here for it because they're just sitting there showing the world, hey, we're building this. We built this over here. We're doing something at Michi's. We're doing this over here. So all of these things, people love luxury upscale locations and people love down home locations. So just like we're talking about the Coral Village, where it might cost you $70 per night, $75 a night, $90, $100. There's other locations where people are spending $1,000 per night because it's all inclusive. $1,500 per night. So it takes the full gamut. So therefore, you have an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, right here, right now. All right. So Paul Castillo, I know how many properties he has. In fact, I know what his goal is. You won't believe it. His goal is to be the big dog. His goal is not 5, not 6, not 7. Can you believe this? This man, Ariam Kaye, says, forget the 6 or 7. I'm going to go for more. So Paul Castillo asks, let's see where he's up to. 8 now. And there's his goal. He actually says it. Paul Castillo, 8 properties now. My goal is to buy 10. I didn't know what he was up to, but I knew he was past 6 and 7. So he's up to 8. But let me know about that Boca Chica. Is that completed yet? Because I want to know how it's going out there. And okay, first of all, he did what you should do, diversified. He didn't keep all of them in the same location. He says, like I mentioned, he got Boca Chica. He also has at Punta Cana, but then he says, okay, I'm going to go out to Macau too. So he's doing the whole, he just didn't say, I'm going to pick all 6 here or all 4 here. He actually picking different locations according to how his investment strategy is. So you got to give him the credit. At Ariam Kaye, you're the man. Yeah, in fact, Ariam Kaye has the most properties. Nobody has more than him. All right, he has the record now. Ariam Kaye, damn, congratulations. Are all of them in Punta Cana? Nope. He's got that Boca Chica, Macau. I think he went to Las Terranas too, if I'm not mistaken, but he'll tell you, I'm pretty sure. Okay, Paul Castillo, Eric, February is DR Independence Month. So there are a lot of visitors due to many carnivals and festivals throughout the whole island. Yes, but despite all that, they still broke the record. That's the key. Okay, let me point it this way. This is even better. In 2023, February broke the record. Now, another year later, they broke the record again. In 2025, they're going to break the record again because the Open Skies Agreement still hasn't dropped yet. Ladies and gentlemen, wait till the Open Skies Agreement comes. You're going to be like, wait, what? I can go round trip 199 from the East Coast. This is sweet. And that's going to skyrocket. But you're right. That's why January, February, March, April, May, June, July, now in August, they are not limited to 4 months prime time. They have 8 months prime time for sure. And they also have the middle of December. So they have 8.5 months prime time, and that could change. Here we go. He's listening it right here. Let's see. Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, which is the Boca Chica, Samana, Macau. So, yeah, he's got it at Samana. I think he did do that Las Terranas, or I think that's what it was. So there you go. He's that's what I was saying. I knew he got the Macau. I knew he got Santo Domingo. I knew he has Punta Cana. So he's there. Great job, Ariam Kaye, superstar. Let me know, Ariam, if and say hello to the wife too. Let me know if that one in Boca Chica is finished. I find that one very fascinating because of the location. Congratulations on that, Paul, from Brian P. Brian P. Ariam. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we tried to talk about assets and leverage. We tried to talk about real estate. But once again, the opportunity is going to either be in America or it's going to be outside of America. But if you have a job and you think you're going to be safe, you're not. The only way you're going to be safe, you're going to have to be making $200,000 per year or more. All right. Otherwise, you're going to have to do the old communal thing. Nothing wrong with that, but how it used to be in the old days. Families live together, take care of each other. Kind of almost like, well, other countries, you know, families stay together longer instead of kicking kids out when they're 18 or kicking parents out, you know, because they get older and take them down to the home or whatever, right? Because those homes are costing a lot, arm and a leg too. Friends of mine were saying $9,000 per month. They had to give up their property. their parents' property so then they could stay in this facility. I'm just like, man, this is getting crazy. I've heard higher numbers as well, like 20 G's a month. I mean, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff going on. And I got to say this, that is a high number when somebody starts talking about $10,000 per month or 15 or 20,000 per month to have somebody in a facility. That's a lot of money. And they have to give up some of their assets to do it sometimes based on some sort of money coming in from the county, city, state, federal government. And that does nobody any good because, once again, who's going to ultimately pay for these exorbitant amounts of money? I mean, this is crazy. All right, Brian P. says, I must have skipped something. Smash that like button. Okay, I went back. Yes, thank you, Eric. All right, Ariam Kaye, please tell me, man, is the Boca Chica one finished? I know about the condo out there in Boca Chica. You were kind enough to show me and tell me about it. I want to know if it's done. New resorts are coming to Michis and La Romana. Yes, Ariam Kaye, we are on it. We are on it. You got that right. Over $1 billion worth of resorts are coming to Michis, by the way. And La Romana, they also have, like, I think it's going to be 500 or 600 million coming over by La Romana. La Romana is very interesting to me because that's a little more upscale. So the Bahibe, Del Mar residences and all that's pretty cool. Because the value is going to increase because it's a small area, but it's still like an hour and a half away from Punta Cana. So the overflow from Punta Cana is very interesting. By the way, 59%, which I did not show. In fact, I'll show it now. On here, it was 59. They actually gave the numbers. Here it is. The arrival of non-resident tourists by air, 59.7% through Punta Cana Airport. We're still around 60%, ladies and gentlemen. Still there. But Las Americas, 21%. This is up a lot. You know why? The flights to Las Americas is cheap from America. 9.5% through Cabo, which is a newer area. That is incredible. Wow. These two are off the charts right now. I like it. I like it. So now people know when they had this right here, the terminal for the cruise, this is another area that potentially could be very interesting due to its location. But again, it's all based on where the tourists go. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to be if I'm going to try to do any short-term rentals or renting at all. He predicted this year would be the best winter season in DR's tourism history. He's going to be right. This is almost, I hate to use words like no-brainer, but this is a no-brainer. It's not very hard to see. They've already added more cruise ports to the island. You already know that. You already know they've added more flights to the island. So therefore, he's not making a bold prediction. He's just right. Again, 8.5 to 9 million by air this year in the DR. Why does that matter? Let me see if this shows. This is not going to show up on the screen. Nah. Why does this matter? Because if we're able to get 9 million, and if you take 9 million times 60, that's 540,000. Why is that significant? Well, there's 52 weeks a year. You could average 100,000 plus air passengers to Punta Cana Airport every week. Can you imagine? And guess what's going to happen in 2025 when a lot of our projects are going to come online? it's going to be higher. It's going to be higher. Can you believe that? So getting 115, 120, 125 people getting off a plane at Punta Cana Airport, and you potentially could have a place there, and sooner or later it's going to get built out. But before it gets built out, the cost is going to be too high. That's what's going to end up happening. Cost factors are going to be too high. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything else you want to talk about this evening, let me hear about it. But before I forget, make sure you sign up for the WhatsApp page, because there will be some specials coming up for the music festival in May. You guys are going to have first dibs on some lower priced tickets that's not going to be available to the general public. So if you want to come to the music festival, that's going to include you getting a ticket into our real estate investors forum there for the week. So you May 9th through the 12th music festival, May 13th through the 15th is the real estate investors forum, or you can do reverse. May 16th through the 19th is the second week of the music festival. So therefore, if you buy a ticket for the second weekend, then that will get you into the May 13th, 14th, and 15th real estate forum portion as well. So either way, you win. So that's coming up as well. We're going to give you discount tickets. There's several ticket options that you're going to have. You got the VIP in this one, which means there's going to be artists meet and greet. There's also going to be a welcome dinner for on a Thursday. That's what's going to happen as well. Only a few people are going to be VIPs, so that means we're going to have some nice music. We'll have a celebrity chef coming, preparing the meal. That's right. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen. A little cool. Going to have the coolness going on. SSN Life. That's what we're talking about here. So you don't want to miss that. So get over to the WhatsApp. It's in the chat room. I'm going to drop it right now. Hold on a second. I know a lot of people don't use WhatsApp like me. WhatsApp's only on my phone. So where is it? Interesting. Oh, I know why. It's on my phone. I actually loaded in the back office. That's why I don't have it. I was like, why don't I have it here? Well, that explains it. I actually put it in from the backside. So what I'll do is I will do this, and then I'll let you guys think if there's any other questions. Anybody wants to talk about anything, it's always an open forum here. Tonight we were talking about assets and leveraging, and I will talk about one more leverage play after this. And after this little, I just call it the SSN Nation. Let's see here. We'll go with this one here. Yeah. Didn't play, didn't like me. All right. Well, we'll do a different play.
Come on, come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it was a little off, had a little delay, but I was able to go in the back office, put in the link in the chat room. It's not on my computer, So I had it on my phone. So once again, you guys can see it for yourself. So just go check it out. That's where you go. Sign up, please. That would be greatly appreciated. Okay, let's see where we're at. I got like 3 things down here. Okay, let's go. All right, Eric, with all that new construction going on in Punta Cana, travel will definitely be a nightmare. I hope the government will start building new roads to withstand all the traffic. Hey, that's what they plan on doing, and they're also plan on putting that train there that goes down to Santo Domingo, remember? They're making plans to alleviate some sort of traffic. It's going to be very interesting, though, because most of that, I have a problem with going to Los Corrales. That's what I have a problem with. They're not making it a 4-lane. It should be a 4-lane already because it's pretty bad. All right. I hope the government will start building new roads to withstand all the traffic is right. That's exactly what needs to be said about that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the WhatsApp group, SSN Nation. Go over there. There's not really any theme to it, but you can talk. I'm in there occasionally. Other people are in there. Other people that want to talk, whatever you want to talk about, pretty much. It's all open as usual, just like our chat rooms are open. We don't generally block anybody unless you're rude. But other than that, there it is. Hit that link. Get it if you can, because I can't get it. But get it on your phone. Get the WhatsApp. Come to the group. And if you want to join us in May, then there's going to be some discount tickets available that you guys can buy. There'll be a link sometime tomorrow for you to be able to go and purchase your tickets. There's going to be different things. You can have your VIP. You can include your hotel, and it'll be all included where you have your hotel, your tickets. You can be in the VIP. There's going to be a gold package as well, which is like if you don't want to go the 9th through the 12th, that's a Thursday through Sunday, and you say, well, I'll do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then there'll be a 3-night, but it won't be VIP, but that'll be a gold where it's, another little level where we have an after party and things like that. So it's all kind of cool, man. It's going to be cool. So make sure you check out that, and we can talk about things that we talked about tonight or upcoming. Anything you want to talk about is open in that arena. All right. It's on WhatsApp. So go over there, check it out. Just log in. I know it's another vehicle of social media or whatever, but I figured out I might as well do that because there's no real way to get in touch with you guys other than by emails, or if I do a live stream. And if I just made videos, I'd never be able to do it. On Instagram is another option, but Instagram's not my favorite because I can't really get to it. I need my phones, right? So that's one of my things with them. But nonetheless, thank everybody for being here tonight. I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years, and I look forward to us making it happen. The SSN Nation takeover is still going down, unfortunately. Remember when I forgot to bring up, I'm not in the DR. That means we did not get funding. That means the guys who's given funding is saying, I'm not going to give. They didn't say that, though. It's weird. So anyhow, they didn't send over the money like they were supposed to. The second guys said they were going to call and ask questions. So I'm like, okay, they haven't called. So I'm like, okay, we're going to have to slow roll it. Do it the old-fashioned way. I'll just have to do it without them. That's how it'll have to be. So that means I got to slow roll it a different way. But it's all right. It's still going down. So with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen. I got bad news. It's only going to get harder financially. But we're here. We're going to try and help. Just start with a little bit. We have your back. We'll give you support. You don't have to do anything crazy, but we're here to support you. So make sure you can send me an email at support@stopstrugglingnow anytime. Support@stopstrugglingnow.com. I don't charge for consultation. If you need any help, I'll try to help you in any way I can. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.